Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by Layla Carroll herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Layla. Today's topic is about learning how to control your stress levels and protecting your peace. We're living in a stressful time. If you look back at the way things used to be before the internet, it was stressful back then too, but today is even more stressful than what it have been since the past. We have so much to think about, so much to worry about, so much to be concerned about. With all the school shootings happening, you worry about your children. If for those of you who have kids like I do, I have a 9-year-old, and you worry about them. You worry about if they're going to come home. Back then, there was no such thing as worried about children if they're going to come home. I remember when I was in school back in the 80s, 90s, I didn't have any care in the world because I was a kid and I was enjoying life and I was loving the way life was treating me at the time. Although I grew up with a single mother, I did know who my father was. My father was still a part of my life, even though he wasn't living in the home and he was in and out of penitentiary, but I still knew who he was and I still had him a part of my life with my letters that I would write to him, the visitations. And when he was out, because he didn't spend my entire childhood there, but when he was out, I was able to be with him and enjoy the company of having a dad around. But today is completely different. It is nothing like it was back then. Now, it doesn't matter what you got going on in your home. The minute you step outside, you are faced with all types of danger, as well as what could happen to you in your mind. Yeah. Free yourself by the thoughts that you have in your mind. We can't control everyday life. We can't control what other people do. But one thing we can control is the way we think, what's going on in our heads, and what we allow to stay there and ponder there. You can't always control what enters inside your mind, but you can control what stays there. You have a divine right to change your thoughts. One way that you could do by changing your thoughts is that you have to start taking control of your stress levels, the things that cause you to stress out. First off, you want to ask yourself questions about it. Is this worth stressing over? And if it is worth stressing over, now you got to figure out what can you do to control the amount of stress that you are allowing yourself to go through. I want to turn to the scriptures on this one here because I was reading and I came across this scripture. It had a lot to say about your peace and protecting your peace and everything. Even Christ himself told his disciples that they need to protect their peace because having peace is a gift. It's not something that you can take lightly. I want to read two different versions, the King James Version and the New Living Translation version. So I'm going to read to you Matthew chapter 10, verse 13 through 15. The King James Version says, "And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it is not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in that day of judgment than for that city." So that's the King James Version. Let's go to the New Living Translation, because it's talking about the same thing, but it's saying it in a different way. And I want you to hear the difference in between the two. If it turns out to be a worthy home, let your blessing stand. If it is not, take back the blessing. If any household or town refuses to welcome you or listen to your message, shake its dust from your feet as you leave. I tell you the truth. The wicked city of Sodom and Gomorrah will be better off than such a town on Judgment Day. What that is saying, for those who don't understand those scriptures, what it's saying is that your peace is a blessing. And when you are in the presence of whomever or whoever you're in the presence of, you don't want them to take your peace from you. You don't want to allow that person or those people to take your peace from you. Because when they take your peace from you, that's when you begin to stress. That's when stress come upon you. So who can operate to their full potential when they're stressed out? I know I can't. How about you? Can you operate to your full potential when you're stressed out? I'm pretty sure you can't. Some people probably say, oh yeah, stress put me in a good position where I can get things done because I'm under pressure. No, I'm not talking about that kind of stress where you know you're pressed for time. You know you've been procrastinating. You know you got to get things done and you have a deadline. So now you have to get it all in and do it right away with nothing stopping you. That's a different kind of stress, because the minute that it's over, that goes away. It goes away. It is no longer there. Now you're relaxed. Okay. So what was so stressful about that? When it's over, once it's over, that's not the kind of stress I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that lingers on for days and sometimes months and even could be years. You do not want to leave your peace in a place where you're not accepted, where you're not wanted, and where you can't go back and get it. No, the scripture says, dust your feet off as you are leaving, okay? Dust your feet off. That means shake off the dust, kick it away from you, keep on stepping and moving like as if you was never there. You never want to put yourself in a position where you find yourself waking up every day regretting what you did not do. That is something that you don't want to happen. You don't want to regret. What you want to do is to make sure that when you're leaving a situation or leaving a person that is not accepting you, they don't care about you, they don't even care about the message that you're giving, and then like that, what you want to do is say, well, I gave the message. So whether they receive it or not, at least I gave my message. Or whatever it is that you are supposed to be doing when you are with that person, if they don't receive what you actually are there for, or they don't receive you as a human being, oh well, let them go on about their way and you go on about yours. Even Christ wasn't accepted in his own native town. They didn't see him as the Messiah. They saw him as the carpenter, Joseph's son. So If he wasn't accepted, what make you think you so perfect that they supposed to accept you? Whatever. That's not gonna happen. You should not feel like you supposed to be wanted or desired by or even loved by everyone, because you will not. So let's get to another point that I want to make. So I wrote this book called A Change in Direction. And when I first started out writing this book, it was for my son. Before he was born, I said, you know what? This little boy here is going to be born to some parents that isn't going to guide him in the right direction he's supposed to be in. Judging by their lifestyles, what they've been through, and one of his parents was my brother, the other, his wife. And my brother was married to a woman who is 20 years his junior. Yes, my brother was with somebody who was so young. Matter of fact, she was so young to where she had no business having kids by older men and getting married. She should have been out living her life, having a good time, partying, doing the things that people in their 20s would do. My brother was in his late 30s, going on in his 40s, already been into the military. He'd been to college. He'd done all those things. He'd even traveled around the world. He saw things that I, in my lifetime, probably won't even see due to being in the military. But the thing is that he had a different lifestyle. You would think that he would have been on a great path because of his background, but he chose a different path, which caused him to lose custody of his son, as well as she have lost custody of him as well. Child Protective Service stepped in, took my nephew, and put him in the foster home. I was writing this book before he was born, but I took a pause on it and I said, I'm not even going to write it. I'm going to let it be. But then I decided to pick the book back up and start writing again and complete the book when he got into the foster home. Not only did I write a book, I wrote a stage play called For the Sake of the Child. But at the time when I wrote this book, I wanted to give him some direction, some guidance to help him to think before he acts, to think about what is happening in his life, that he could most likely have some kind of wisdom. And wisdom comes from God. So if you feel like you want wisdom and you don't have it, ask God for it. He'll definitely give it to you. I'm going to read the quote. So my book is called A Change in Direction, a mother's guide to helping her children make good decisions. And you can get it on Amazon. Just put in book. That way the algorithm of Amazon will know exactly you're asking for a book. Then put in the title, which is A Change in Direction. Then put in my name, which is the author's name, Alayla Cabot. So that will give you exactly what you need, and you'll be able to pick up a copy of the book. So anyways, I want to go ahead and read quote number 14. What my book is 50 quotes and points to the quotes. So quote number 14 is, everyone would not be happy for you. The point to that quote says, never expect everyone to be happy for you and your success. Some people will pretend to be happy for you while others will show you to your face they're not happy for you. Don't get upset with them. Instead, pray for them and ask God to bless them as well. While you're continuously praying for them, God will give you peace that surpasses all understanding. According to Matthew chapter 5, verse 44 through 45, the New Living Translation, but I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. In that way, you will be acting as the true children of your Heavenly Father. For He gives sunlight to both evil and to good, and He sends rain on the just as well as the unjust alike.
We'll be back after a quick break.
If you haven't already, check out my luxury shoe and bag collection, a Layla Cara style. Each piece is personally designed by me and handcrafted from genuine Italian leather. Whether you're dressing up or keeping it casual, these pieces were made to help you walk with confidence. Because real style starts from how you feel. Go to alaylacarolstyle.com and experience these bold, timeless, and completely all you. Check it out. You might find something you like. What I wrote in that quote, in that point, was that people will not always accept you, even when you're doing the right thing. I've learned in my years that people don't want to always do right. They enjoy the feeling that they get when they do wrong sometimes. It gives them some type of feeling that it's like, yeah, I'm big and bad. I'm able to do whatever I want to do. This feels good. Look how much pain I inflicted upon this person. That makes me feel great. Most people that's like that is because they've been having a lot of pain themselves. So they want to have someone else to feel what they've been feeling. This is the very reason why I say it in my book, do not allow yourself to feel like you're supposed to have everyone liking you and being happy for you, even if it's for something that's for children, making good grades, for college student, graduating from college, for adults, getting a promotion on your job, or starting your new business. Everyone is not going to be happy for that. They're not going to be happy for you for that. They're going to look at you. Some people will look at you and be like, oh, they'll show off. They think they got it going on. They ain't all that. But they're really hurt that they're not the ones doing it. Don't feel bad for them by getting upset with them. Feel bad for them by praying for them. Pray for them. Ask God to bless them as well, because the better everyone is, the better your life will be when you are surrounded around good people who are doing well too. Now, another quote that I have is quote 23 in my book. Quote 23 says, don't be a people pleaser. Do not become a people pleaser. The point to that says, people are never satisfied and are very hard to please. Do not waste your time trying to please them, because some people are naturally unhappy and there are some who change with the circumstances. They love you today because you are doing well for them, because you are giving and doing everything they want you to do. But the moment you stop, they hate you. Those type of people are easily identified. Watch how they treat others around you. If they are only happy when someone is giving and doing something for them, stay far away from them. They will act the same way towards you. You are not an exception to the rule. So do not think you're special, because you're not to them. It is written according to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33, New Living Translation. Don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character. It's just like two birds of a feather flocking together. You would never see an eagle flying with a low-bottom bird. I wrote that quote because I have to say that I am one of the people who used to be a people pleaser. I didn't really realize it until I got to a place in my life where I couldn't relax and I started getting migraines, constant migraines. Migraines, I used to suffer from migraines when I was younger, but not in this capacity. This was completely different. It was brand new to me. One day I'm just chilling, relaxing, and all of a sudden I got this blow to my head like someone punched me with their fist in the back of my head. It was horrible. It was traumatic. I didn't know what to do. And it wasn't one blow. It kept coming every 30 seconds. I was counting these blows. This situation happened for 4 days straight. I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to eat. I went to the emergency room. They gave me some type of injection shot. It did stop it. It did. It stopped it. And this was back in 2009 when I first had this episode. And I was like, okay. Then they also gave me some narcotic pills. But I think I took those pills like 3 times, and then now they take them no more because it was just too strong for me. And I never want to get in a situation where I get hooked on pills. I don't want to be addicted to anything. So we're going to fast forward from 2009 all the way up to 2019. That year, I undergoed a year of study on my head to find out what was causing my migraines, because that migraine returned that year. I remember sitting in the car crying, boo-hoo, crying, because I could not stop this pounding in my head. I thought maybe I was having an aneurysm. They gave me a CAT scan. Nothing showed up. Back in 2009, nothing showed up. And then here it is, 10 years later, I have this same blow going to my head. So, God, what's going on with me? Why is my head hurting so badly? I was undergo so much stress. That's what the problem was. I was dealing with stress. I was dealing with stress in my marriage because of my husband being so abusive, not caring about anything I had going on in my world. I had Child Protective Service that I was fighting against. I was literally fighting these people. I had 2 lawyers that I was fighting these people with, but I want to tell y'all that story, but I want to tell you on a different audio, because I don't want to do this on this audio because it has a lot of twists and turns to it. But when I was under the study for that whole year, you know what those people found on me? Nothing. Nothing that was a medical condition that was causing me to have those type of migraines. What they told me was that I needed to relax. Find something that will keep me from stressing so horribly the way I was. But it was hard to, because I had a husband at that time that did not want me to get my nephew. He did not want me to get him. He was so selfish, man. This man was all about himself. All he cared about was what was going on with him, his world, and what he had, what he don't have, what he think that he should have. And I knew that he was going there. I saw it going that direction. So I remember telling my ex-husband, who was sitting in the car, he picked me up from work one day, and we were sitting in the car, and I told him what was happening between my brother and his wife. I told him, I'm going to probably have to step in and get my nephew. I can't allow him to go into the CPS. You know what that man sat there and told me? I'm not agreeing with that. If I can't be with my own kids, I'm not finna be raising somebody else's kid. And I told him, I said, well, you know what? Then I guess I'm gonna have to do whatever I gotta do. And whatever that may be, then that's what it's gonna be. He got really mad, got out the car, slammed the door. I got out the car and I just looked up at the sky and I said, God, you see what's happening here. So make it work. So I left that alone. Situation continued on to where I had to try to understand where my husband was coming from. And at the same time, I didn't want to neglect the fact that once I didn't have any children at the time of my own. I wanted to have kids, but I didn't really care too much about having a child with him at that particular time because we were going through so much, and I knew bringing a kid in that situation was not great. At least one that attached to him. At least I knew that if I had my nephew, well, I didn't have to worry too much about any custody battles and stuff like that if we didn't work out. So the stress level was at an all-time high for me. And that's why I had that type of migraine. I was literally in so much pain to where I had to figure out a way to calm myself down, to get myself in a better state of mind to where I did not have to deal with that kind of pressure because it was either a life or death situation. I don't understand how they couldn't see anything on the CAT scan, but they say they didn't see nothing. And then I had these EKGs. They tested my heart. My heart rate was fine. Blood pressure was okay. So what's happening here? This means that this is not a natural situation. I'm actually dealing with a spiritual situation. And that is when I started doing a lot of praying, a lot of fasting, and when I was at the hotel, I started learning how to meditate because I didn't know how to meditate at the time. I didn't know how to do none of that stuff. But I was like, okay, maybe meditation would help me calm down. Maybe meditation would give me that serenity, that peace that I'm needing. But problem was, since I was so brand new at this, I was able to get peace when I was meditating, but I couldn't get peace when I came back home. I was back at the crap all over again. We're back fighting, arguing, and going on all over again. So what do you do in that situation? I would tell you this. First, you have to eliminate what's happening to you that's causing your stress if you're able to. If you cannot get rid of what is stressing you out, you're going to have to find some type of alternative to help you cope with it. I knew that I can get rid of the stress, but I wasn't willing to get rid of the stress because I was married to the stress. Yeah, my ex-husband was causing me the stress that I was having. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. Because I could be away from him and be happy and at peace. And the minute that I saw him, it was like it all just came flooding back. And that was how I was able to pinpoint where the stress was coming from. He even said it to me one day after we separated. We was talking on the phone, and I instantly got a headache when I got on the phone with him. And he say, because I remember saying, oh my God, my head is hurting. He said, so I'm giving you the headaches? That's what's happening? I'm like, yeah, be honest, yeah, because since you've been gone, since we ain't been in each other's lives, since we've been gone apart from each other, I haven't had any of those headaches. They're gone. So it was definitely you. And this was during the time when I was trying to get a divorce and I was trying not to piss him off and make him mad. So I just went on to cut the conversation short because I knew how short of a fuse this man had. And because of that, of me finding out that he was my trigger, I knew I could not keep myself in that type of environment. And I had to come up with a better way of relaxing so that won't happen to me again. Learning how to protect your peace is very important. A lot of us do not understand how important protecting your peace is. We think that because we have to do everything that entails with our everyday lives, such as when we wake up in the morning, we got to go to work. Some people have to fight traffic. Traffic might be a lot tough on you. So you stress because of that. By the time you get to work, you're not happy because you just had to deal with all that stress dealing with these crazy drivers. And God forbid, you're running late. That's even worse. So what I do, I leave my house 2 hours before I have to be at work. If I got to be at work at 9, I will leave my house at 7 o'clock. That's 2 hours. So I don't have to rush to get to work. And when I'm driving, I'm dealing with these silly people. I find whoever is the idiot on the road, and then I stay away from that person. I will slow it down and let them go ahead and speed on ahead of me, or if they're behind me, I'll move out of that lane as quickly as I can, if I can, to not deal with dumb drivers because they're so rude. And then I have my music, or if I'm not listening to music, I'm listening to some type of words of affirmation, some motivational speaking, or I'm praying. So I find whatever it takes to keep me calm on that road, I do that. That's one way. Another way you can protect your peace is find your space. Whatever it is that you need to be doing to keep you calm. I'm gonna give you some example about some of the things that I do, and I started sharing with my now current husband, which is a great man, by the way. What I do and he now do, we listen to motivational speaking. That's one of the things. We also listen to jazz, like real calm jazz, soft. That's what we did yesterday, matter of fact. Just sit there and just listen to some music. No TV, just chilling, talking to each other about whatever, and just relaxing and enjoying the sweet sounds. Then there's another thing we do before we go to bed. While we're sleeping, we'll listen to some type of mind relaxing sounds, like the wave sounds, like if you're meditating, those type of sounds, and we'll sleep through that. And that's like the best sleep that you can have, when you just relax like that. Then when you wake up throughout the middle of the night and you hear that same music playing, it's awesome. So what else? Okay, so that's times when we go outside in the back of our home and lay out a blanket or yoga mat and just look up in the sky and have the same type of music playing or motivational speaking going on, and we just stare at the clouds and the birds and anything else that's flying up there, as well as the airplanes that flies over, and we just sit there and just relax. We won't even say a word to each other or about anything. Just lay there and just listen to the sounds. That is calm and relaxing. And we have our own way of getting away from it all. We'll go on vacation. We'll take a trip somewhere. With me being a flight attendant, I can go wherever I want in the world, including him and our son. So we're like, hey, you know what? Let's just go somewhere for a couple of days or 3 or 4 days. Let's just get out of here and go somewhere. And we can do that. So we'll just get out and go somewhere. And that is the best feeling ever. So you take advantage of your resources. Whatever resources that you have, take advantage of that. Find your space, because it is going to be the key element to your peace, as well as protecting your peace and controlling your stress levels. I know a lot of us say, oh, stress is good. Some people think that. And in a way, it is. It depends on what you're stressing about. So let's say, for instance, you have a stressful situation where you are, like I said earlier, you're pressed for time, you have a deadline, you have to get things done. You didn't get pretty much anything done because you procrastinated or something got in the way and you wasn't able to do it. By the time you're able to do it, you're stressed and you're trying to get it done. But that stress is giving you that dopamine you need to get you that courage that you didn't have to get it done in the first place. It is also giving you just a small window to be able to accomplish what you need to do. You'd be surprised what you can accomplish in a short period of time. So that's good stress. Finding what works for you is very important. If you do not take the time out to figure out what works for you whenever you're stressing, you're going to have a hard time. You need to take control of your stress levels. Protect your peace. Protecting your peace is going to get you exactly what you need. Your results will be awesome, amazing. They will be astounded to the point to where you will do whatever it takes at all costs to make sure that no one or nothing interrupt that. Even if you have children, you won't even allow them to come and interrupt your peace. If you are married, you would not allow your spouse to come in and interrupt your peace. Any of those type of things. Parents, oh my goodness, I can really tell you about the parent situation. My mom and my dad, them two, oh my goodness, I have had my fair share of stressful days when it comes to them two. My dad, at first, he was doing so well when I allowed him to come and live with me for a little while. And when I decided that, okay, it was time for him to move out because I was getting married, he was going through all kinds of drastic measures, which I understand now, but at that time I didn't. He was going through all kinds of drastic measures to keep me from getting married to my ex-husband. He even talked to my one of my ex-boyfriends to try to get him to come in and to woo me back. And when I found out about it, it was my ex-boyfriend who told me. He said, "You would not believe what your dad told me. He wanted me to try to woo you back, to get you back, and he was saying the guy that you with, he don't like him, and he wished that you could see what he see in this guy. This guy is no good for you," which my dad was actually, he hit the nail on the head. He was right. My ex-husband was not good for me. But when you are going through certain things at the moment, you don't see what other people see. You are literally in the thick of things while everybody else is on the outside. They see the smoke in the cloud while you're actually in the smoke in the cloud. It's just like being in the fog. You can see the fog up ahead, but the minute that you get in the fog, you don't see that you're in the fog. You just know that wherever you are at that particular time, you can see that spot. And now with my mom, on the other hand, when I was having my situations with her, I stress pretty hard with her because I don't like to see my mom in pain. I don't like my mom not happy. But it came a time in my mom and our relationship with her that I had to start putting some distance in between us because she took well advantage of knowing that I did not want her to be hurt or feel without or going without, that whenever she felt the need to call up on me for whatever it is, she was expecting me to jump. I don't care what I got going on. She was expecting me to jump and do it right then and there. And when I was married and I was dealing with this man I was with, I couldn't just jump and do things right then and there. So it made it very stressful for me. So what I'm trying to tell you, you need to take advantage of any resources that you have. Use it. There are some more resources that you can probably use. I'm going to give you a few of them. Take a hot bubble bath. When I mean take a hot bubble bath, I'm not talking about just get in the hot water, take a bath. No, I'm talking about get some bubbles, get you some candles. If you don't have candles, see, I don't use candles like I used to. Now I use these twinkling lights that is operated by a remote control, and they have different type of settings and everything, and they set the mood. So I use those type of things, and as well as some aromatherapy. Oh man. Aromatherapy. That is so wonderful. Oh man, the smell and the fragrance that's in the air, it automatically relaxes you. Then I have my wine. I have my wine, and I love me some. Of course, there's Cabernet Sauvignon, but I like my Moet. I am enjoying all that. I got my champagne. Sometimes I do champagne. It all depends. And then I do my Merlot. I love me some Merlot. Merlot is nice. It's soothing to the taste. It isn't all like most people think, oh, that's dry. No, it's not dry. It's just right. But anyways, so I have my little wine and everything, and I will spend about 30 minutes to an hour in that tub. And sometimes when I'm at the hotel, if they have a tub, I clean that tub out, even though they supposed to clean it out. But I know what it's like at hotels. I used to work at one, so I definitely know that a lot of times they're not literally cleaning the tub. So I clean that tub out. I run that hot water. I might not have any bubbles or whatever, but the hot water alone is just right. And I will do the same thing there. Even though I don't have my twinkling lights, but that's okay. I still have my phone, and I will put on some nice little music and or sometimes some words of affirmation or motivational speaking, and I will relax. Then there's other things that you can do. Go for a walk. Now, walking is therapeutic and it's also exercising. When I go for a walk, I use that particular time to actually talk to God. I will go for a walk and I have a full blown conversation with Him. People don't even know that I'm talking to God. They think I'm on my phone because I have some headphones on or something with my phone in my hand. They think that, oh, she's talking on the phone. No, I'm not. I'm talking to God. I just don't want people to know that I'm talking to God because that's between me and Him. So I will have a whole conversation with Him while I'm walking. So if someone is walking past me, they won't really know that I'm talking to my Lord and Savior. I'm actually talking to my Lord and Savior, but they're thinking that I'm talking to someone on the phone. That's a good way that I use to disguise anyone from interrupting my conversation or from thinking that I might be a crazy lady talking to myself. But either way it go, I'm telling you, therapeutic walking is great. That's what I call it, therapeutic walking. Now, my husband, my current husband now, what we do is we also have our therapy session. I call it a therapy session because it does feel like you in therapy sometimes. What I do, I have these patches that we put on our bodies. We can put it on our back. There's a patch for our back, for our buttocks. I love the one for the butt. And he has this thing in his hip that hurts him sometimes. So I place it on his hip, and I also have the one for your arm, but I don't really use it for my arm. I end up using it for his hip. I put it on his hip or whatever. And what it does, you turn it on by remote control, and it gives this shocking kind of sensation like therapy, and it got many different programs and function to it. And that feels so good, especially if you got back pains. It feels so good. That's what we use, and I use that for therapy. I call it therapy time. So we'll just lay across the bed and put on something real nice, music. Like last night we had our music and stuff on, and just listen to that and just calm. Don't really talk about much or nothing because sometimes silence is bliss. It's like a blessing to have silence sometimes, to know sometimes that there are times when you just need to shut up. No talking. But it allows you to think. Silence allows you to get your mind on track and to think things through and to sort out what you need to just be sorting out at that particular time. And having someone running their mouth, talking, it interrupts that. And then you might even need to hear from God, and God can give you that conversation that you're waiting for, which is some type of revelation that you might be looking for in Him. Those type of things. Now, what else? I really want to kind of help you guys to understand where I'm coming from with this. Find your space. That's what I'm talking about with all this. Whatever I just mentioned, if that's something that you think that could work for you, that's you actually finding your space. Now, there's another thing that me and my husband came up with over a year ago. It's called No Social Media Thursday. We would literally go without social media for a whole 24 hours on Thursday. No computers, no phones, nothing. We're just gonna watch TV. We're gonna talk to each other. We're gonna listen to music. We're going to do whatever we got to do for that day, but we're not going to get on social media. We're not going to post. We're not going to read someone's comments. We're not going to be doing any of those things. None of those things matter on that Thursday. We haven't done it in a while, and we are talking about getting back to it, because one of the things I figured out about my husband when it comes to him stressing, social media has been one of those things that causes him to stress, because he will see something on social media and he feel like he needs to comment on it or say something about it. And if a person comment back on him not agreeing, then now it's going to be one of those situations where he's like, let me say something. No, you don't have to say something, because now it becomes a stressful situation for no reason. Another thing about social media is that when you are laying down at night to get ready to call it a night, go to bed, you need to take at least an hour off of social media to unwind and get your mind ready to go to sleep. There's no way that you're going to have a really good night's sleep listening or watching anything on social media right before you close your eyes to try to take your rest. That's the reason why social media has not been always great for people who are looking for their space to find peace and to keep their peace and to not be stressed. Think about a day or some days that you can incorporate no social media day. I'm telling you, I'm saying you're going to find out that it's like the best thing ever. Even if you take that one day and just be with your family, be with your kids, whatever, but don't post. Do not post. I don't care if you took pictures and stuff like that. You're like, man, I want to post it. No, wait till the next day to do the posting. Don't post, because the minute that you go in there post, now you're going to want to see the comments. You're going to want to see what people have to say. You want to know if people are clicking any likes or love or laugh out loud or wow or care. You don't want that. That's the whole purpose of not having social media on that day. You want to act like you're living back in the 80s or the 90s before social media even happened. Okay? So I hope that this helped any of you guys. Remember, control your stress levels. Learn how to do it. And protect your peace. When you have peace, don't let someone come and steal it from you. If you know that you got somebody that always full of drama, every time you talk to them, something is wrong, you need to figure out how you can deal with that person if you have to deal with them. Like if they're a family member, such as a sibling, that you are in contact with constantly, well, then there's going to have to be moments when you learn not to answer your phone when they call. Sorry, can't call today. I'm not listening to it. I'm not going to answer it. Or there'll be moments when you're like, hey, today is going to be a day that I'm going to have a mental day. I'm not going to talk to nobody. Sorry, but it's nothing against you. But I just need you to understand that this is my day. This is my moment. I don't want to hear nothing today. And it just happened to be one of those times when they need to understand that you do need a break. You are human just as well as they are. And if they don't understand and they still give you problems, if you don't really need that person in your life, then you might want to cut them off. I'm just trying to say. You might, because some people really don't care. And they will drive you to the insane ward. And you don't need that. Or you end up with a stroke and they'll be like, well, she should have took better care of herself. Or he should have took better care of himself. No, they was the one who contributed to the stress that caused your stroke. So you really have to figure out how you are going to make some changes and create your own space. And let me elaborate on creating your space. Creating your space means, like, for instance, you got your personal space, your personal zone that you don't want someone to cross into. That is the same way is creating your space for your peace. There's certain times in your life or your day or your week or whatever that you don't need someone to interrupt it. That is what I mean by creating your space. If you're in your bath and you're taking a bath and you're there for 30 minutes to an hour, that's your space. Nobody can just come walk into the bathroom while you're there. No, that's your space. If you're meditating, that's your space. No one can just come in and interrupt your meditation. That's your space. You created that for you, and people who are in your everyday life understand that, okay, this person is having their moment and they're in their space getting their peace. I'm not going to go and mess with them until they're done. That's what I mean by creating your space. If you go for a walk, hey, honey, I'm going for a walk. I'm in my space. Okay. They know, okay, they're going to be in their space. If you need me, just send me a text message. Don't call, though. If you do call, let it be an emergency. That kind of stuff. That way I'm not on the phone with you talking to you while I'm actually in my own personal space. You took up my time and you took my space away. That's what I'm trying to say. Create your space that belongs to only you. No one else can have that time from you. And you're going to have to be the one to protect it. No one else is, they're not going to care. They're not going to protect that from you. They're not going to be like, let me protect her space or his space because this is what they got going on. No, they're not going to care. That's why it's so important for you to protect your space for yourself, because you are protecting your peace. And like God says, He will give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. A lot of people will not understand it, but who cares? It's not for them to understand. Well, I hope this helped. I am going to sign out. Check me out on my website, queendomshiplife.org. You can also find me and follow me on Facebook at Alayla the Queen with the apostrophe. Don't forget that. You can also follow me on Twitter at Alayla Queen. You can follow me on IG at Alayla Carroll, Carroll. And I am on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is mainly for, employment and stuff like that. But I'm not looking for no employment. I'm actually happy where I'm at. So I just want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day, or good night if you're listening to this while you're about to get ready to go to bed. And thank you, by the way, for spending that time with Alayla, the Queen, signing out. I see. Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taking with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, regain control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com.